I really love this country, but I even love more the people.
Meet Palebo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black here in the garage where the minibuses are driving from here in Bissau. Even the guy selling the tickets in the small shed, they don't have any lights there, so he's having a small torchlight in his mouth as he's writing out the tickets for the buses. I already got my first ticket and found the bus that is going to take me to Ziguinchor in the southern part of Senegal. The question is now when it's going to be driving, because that is when the minibus is full. It might be half an hour, it might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, I don't know. It's going to take me to Ziguinchor, and from there I'm getting on another minibus taking me to the border of Gambia. When I've crossed the border, I'm going to take a third one that's going to take me to Banjul in Gambia, where the ferry is. That's going to take me across the river. And there I'm getting on the fourth. That's going to take me to the border of Senegal and Gambia in the north. Here I'm switching again, getting on the fifth. That's going to take me to Dakar. And when I get to Dakar, I'm taking a taxi to the Airbnb. It's maybe around 600 miles, and I don't know how long it's going to take me. My hosts here in Bissau, they said I can't make it in one day. There might be an alternative that I get a car in Ziguinchor that's going to take me all the way to Dakar, but that's going to be more expensive. But it's highly unlikely that I'll make it to Dakar tonight. So maybe I'll have to find a place to stay in Banjul in Gambia for the night. This is going to be a long and probably tough road on bumpy roads in Bissau, Senegal, Gambia, and Senegal again. And I'm going to take you on that ride. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast. The Radio Vagabond podcast is produced by Radio Guru. That's my production company where when I travel, produce sound design, branded podcasts, and much, much more for clients. I also do workshops on radio stations around the world. So if you know somebody who would like to learn some stuff about radio advertising, drop me a line or go to radioguru.co.uk. This episode is supported in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotel rooms around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com. You should try it out. It actually works. Well, back to Africa. The first stop on my trip from Guinea-Bissau to Dakar is the small city Ziguinchor in the southern part of Senegal. I was also here when I did the trip from Cap Skirring in Senegal down to Bissau. This bus station looks a lot like the bus station in Bissau. It's a noisy, dusty square with a lot of people and old, beat-up minibuses. For me, it can seem pretty disorganized and confusing. None of the buses are in rows, and there are a few sheds in the middle and in the sides where you can buy tickets and snacks and fruits and stuff to drink. And then there's all the stuff that needs to be transported. When I was here a few days ago, I saw a big, live, screaming pig being tied to the roof of a minibus with suitcases and mattresses and a lot more. I only noticed it because I heard it scream. At that point, they were already tying it to the roof. I have no idea how they managed to get it up there. It was big. That day, I also started talking to an older guy who spoke a little bit of English. He helped me find the right bus. He was very nice, and obviously he also saw a bit of a two-pap in me. He did ask for a bit of cash for helping me. I think I might have mentioned to him that I was coming back a few days later, because the second I got off the bus, he was there. It's 10 o'clock. I'm in Senegal now, and the guy who helped me 2 days ago, he's here, and he was ready when I stepped out of the minibus, and he said that there's a way I can get to Dakar tonight. I'm not going to Banjul. I'm going to another border where you don't have to wait so long for the ferry, and then I'll be there in Dakar tonight. He said already around 6 o'clock, but let's see how that goes. The trip up here was pretty fast, but let's see how it goes from there. When we'd been driving for around half an hour this morning, we were stopped for a police check, still in Guinea-Bissau. And like I mentioned, it was pitch black in the bus station, and here in this small village, there was also no lights. And it was 7 o'clock in the morning. We got out of the car and started walking towards a passport check around 50 meters down the road. And as I was walking in this unlit village with a lot of people and goats and pigs walking on the streets, I realized that I didn't remember what the car looked like. I didn't even remember if it was white or blue or black, and none of the passengers spoke English, and I didn't remember what they looked like. And all of a sudden, as I was walking there, it dawned on me, oh my God, how am I going to find the car again? And it's got my bag inside, so thankfully, I remember that the guy sitting next to me was using crutches, so I turned around and there he was, the guy with crutches. So I stayed close to him, and as we had our passport checked, he said, "Where are they?" in the local language, and then they came. Thank God. And it was a blue van. I could have sworn it was white. Right now it's 1:45, and I'm in Gambia, standing by the river waiting for the ferry to take me across. They're building a bridge right here. I'm not in Banjul, it's further inland, and this should be a quicker way, I was told when I was in Senegal. And across this river on the other side, there will be taxis that can take me all the way to Dakar. So I'll probably be there a little after 2, so I should be in Dakar before 6. This is working out beautifully. Okay, so I'm in Dakar now, and I wasn't here at 6 o'clock as I was sort of hoping for. It was 8:30 when I pulled into the city, and around 9 when I had found a taxi and made my way to the Airbnb. I was waiting for the ferry in Gambia a bit longer than I expected. It had just left, so we were waiting for it for an hour and a half to get back. And when I got to the other side, I spoke to a guy that said that it would be 5,000 to get all the way to Dakar. And he would take me in his car to the garage, and then I would get into a set place. And he specifically told me, and I asked him several times if it was 5,000 sefa to go all the way to Dakar. And he said, yes, you can trust me, my friend. You are my friend. And then when we got to the garage, he wanted 5,000, and the guys in that set place wanted 6,500. So misunderstandings, and it got lost in translation. So I ended up paying him the 5,000 to take me that short a trip. And remember, I paid 5,300 to get all the way from Senegal to the border. So 5,000 to take me 2 kilometers was way overpriced. But it was a nice car, and he took me, just me, and didn't have to wait for anyone else. I guess he thought that I was in a hurry, and I wasn't that much in a hurry. And then I got into this set place, which are the 7-seater old Peugeot that drives all over the place in these countries. And I got the worst seat of the car, the one in the back seat in the corner, where I was where my head was touching the ceiling, and there was some sort of metal beam inside the ceiling, and I had to bend down, and I couldn't because the seat in front of me was very, very close, so my legs wouldn't be there, and I couldn't squeeze myself down into the seat. And we were sitting 3 people in this small back seat, and it was very, very tight. And sitting there, after a couple of hours, your butt cheeks start to fall asleep, and my legs were hurting, and my head was bumping into the ceiling every time we hit a bump, which was often. So the 4-5 hours was tough, very, very tough. A long ride from the border between Gambia and Senegal to Dakar, but I made it, and now I'm here. And even though the people I spoke to in Bissau, they said there's no way possible you can make it all the way to Dakar. You can make it to Banjul in Gambia late at night, but you can't make it to Dakar. Well, I proved them wrong, and now I'm here. I got a full day here in Dakar. Not that I'm going to be doing much other than trying to get some work done on my computer, but Tuesday morning, early in the morning, I'm flying to Conakry, and I'm so looking forward to that. When we come back, you can join me when I arrive to Conakry in Guinea, the country that 2 of my friends, who are some of the best traveled in the world, have warned me against. They both had bad experiences in this country, and that's the reason I'm backtracking all the way up to Dakar and catching a flight down to Conakry, instead of just driving the short distance from Bissau. By the way, you can see a map of this detour on theradiovagabond.com. Hear what my experience of the country is when we return. Produced by radioguru.co.uk, this is The Radio Vagabond, and my name is Palabo. Stay with us.
And I can take anything you can throw at me, and nothing can get me down. Life is looking so bright, the sun is up again. I'm feeling like I can fly. No clouds in my way, no. And I'm living the good life. And I'm living the good life now. I'm living the good life, and nothing can get me down, no.
This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com.
Lifted up on your shoulders, I can see the whole world. There's nothing that I cannot do, no. You and me together, we got this thing down, and nothing we cannot do. No clouds in our way, no. And I'm living the good life. I'm living the good life now. I'm living the good life, and nothing can get me down, no. Life's got a way of pushing you, but we got the strength to push on through. 'Cause there's not a place that we can see if we don't live what we believe.
And another thing, I share a lot about myself in this podcast, and now I would like to hear a little bit about you. Specifically, I'd like to know, what are you doing right now, this second, when you're hearing these words? If you like, you can also tell me a little bit about what you think of this podcast. But primarily, I'd like to know, who are you and where are you right now? Please use this special email for this, listener@theradiovagabond.com. Here's a few facts about Guinea. It's a country the size of the United Kingdom. It's got a population of around 12 million. The capital and the biggest city is Conakry, where I am right now. That's also why some people call this country Guinea Conakry. to avoid confusion to the neighboring country, Guinea-Bissau. It shares borders with Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Mali, the Ivory Coast, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. I chose to stay at a hotel here in Conakry, and I found, of course, through hotels25.com, a nice little hotel in the city. It's around 15 miles from downtown Conakry, so it's too far to walk. I tried to get a taxi, but that was difficult, especially if I didn't want to get super overcharged. But it was quite easy to find a local on a motorbike that would drive me, and that's the way it's done here. You stick your arm out and one of the locals stops. So after a brief negotiation of the price in the hot sun here in Guinea, I jumped on the back of a motorcycle without a helmet and drove like crazy in between cars, kids and dogs in the heavy traffic into the city. I just got off the back of a motorcycle driving for 15 minutes through the streets of Conakry here in Guinea, and it was like taking a bit of a chance because it was in and out with horns blowing all the way in and out between cars and people walking on the streets, because here in Conakry sidewalks is not a big thing. So people are walking on the streets, women with enormous packages or fruits or anything else carrying it on their heads, and children and dogs, and in and out between cars, and of course without a helmet. And I think it is, yes, it's here. We managed to find the place. We drove a little bit too far, but here it is, and I'm meeting some local expats that I was connected to through couchsurfing, and I'm about to meet them now. If you're a regular listener, you've heard me use couchsurfing.com before, but that was to find places to stay on my big US road trip. But the platform can also be used to meet people. This is a different way of using couchsurfing.com. Normally couchsurfing is when you need a place to stay for a night or two, but I already have a place to stay here in Conakry, and I still want to meet some of the locals. So I sent a message to a handful of the people that were listed on Couchsurfing, saying, do you have time to grab a cup of coffee or lunch or something? And some of them answered, and one of them is a French guy. He's an expat living here in Conakry, and he's meeting me here where I am right now. We agreed that I should send him a text message when I was here, but for some reason my Danish phone number won't send text messages, which is cheaper than a phone call. But since it couldn't do that, I called him and just talked for 10 seconds, saying I'm here now, and he said, okay, I'll be there. So any second, Tim will be here. Hi. How are you? I'm good. For some reason, my phone number wouldn't allow me to send a text message. Okay. Hi. How are you? I'm good. Nice to meet you. Maury. Maury? Yes. Yeah. And you? Pallet. Okay. How are you? I'm good.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
So, Tim, now we're here at a very, very local restaurant. What is this place? Can you describe it?
Oh, wow. How do you say Mongier? Oh, we're just between a tree, under a tree, just you can grab some food, and that's Guinean food, so it's basically rice with some sauce. It depends. You can get a fish. It's usually smoked fish, which is called comqué. It's traditional here. Or you can get some chicken or some meat. Depends.
Yeah. And you say the price is around?
It's around €1.5.
How much?
€1.5. 1.5.
1.5 euro.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very local and very authentic Guinea.
It is. Yeah.
So, what brought you? You're obviously French. Are you from Paris?
No. It's complicated. Actually,
It's complicated.
I was born in the north of France, and I passed 10 days of my life in Guadeloupe, in the French West Indies. And then I went back to Toulouse for my studies, and then I went to Singapore and here.
Yeah. And what brought you here?
I don't know, just traveling.
Adventure?
Yeah, that is. I wanted to go somewhere in Africa, not in South Africa or something like that. I would say not so developed country, just to see how things are and all. So I just decided to come there. First, I should have came to Kinshasa in DRC. But I was with a Singaporean company to go in Kinshasa, but finally the client that was a public client didn't sign the contract, so I decided to come here with another company.
What is you say it's an American company?
It is. It's Louis Berger.
And what does it do?
Oh, we're doing quite a lot of stuff. We're working on development, so we're working on road construction, mining, on even army stuff, but not here in Conakry. We're working on institutional development, agriculture, all of this kind of stuff. We are a study office, and we do this kind of stuff. Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for 2 years.
And what's the plan?
Well, my contract is I'm in a short-term contract somewhere. I'm a volunteer here. It's a special contract from the French government, so I officially don't depend on Louis Berger, but I'm employed by. I'm employed. I'm in contract with the French government, and it's a kind of volunteering, and it's a way for France to push young outside of France and give them a job somewhere.
But you know what's going to happen. You fall in love, and you all of a sudden you're in a relationship, and then you never
get
leave.
Kids and live here forever.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
I was just in Guinea-Bissau and met a Danish guy, and that happened for him. So he's now have a local wife and a newborn baby, and
Yeah. We never know.
You never know. What happens.
Yeah.
What kind of country is Guinea? Because I had friends tell me this is a difficult country to visit.
Yeah, in Guinea there is basically nearly no tourism, so there's nothing made for tourists. So it could be harsh for tourists first to come, because there is no organized tour, nearly no. There is some, but not so much. And even when you arrive at the airport, usually they don't understand what a tourist is. They just ask you if you have a mission order or something, and it's always like that everywhere. But fact is that it's a really, really nice country. It's just Ebola is finished now here, so everything is going is increasing. Everything is going better, and it's really safe. So there is basically no issue. You just need to come, discuss with people, and you can travel and hike everywhere. There's really no issue. If you're nice to people, you can even sleep in their house. It's everywhere. It's always open. They will all share their house, the food, everything. It's good. It's a really nice place, but it's not a known place, so you need to be a bit adventurous.
On the sidewalk restaurant under the tin roof, I had a very traditional lunch with Tim and a couple of his colleagues. Tim really likes living here in Conakry.
Yeah, I really love Guinea. Yeah, as I said, I really love this country, and it's the first time I travel to country, and I prefer the people than the country. Even the country I love the country, but I even love more the people, because they're like really, really open, really dynamic. I mean, you always have things to do. Even to go from my office from my place to my office, it takes like 5 minutes. But I'm always surprised, always talking to so many people, and it's I have so much debates. Yesterday I was just having ataya, so it's a tea, basically tea, with some people. And it's always like that. You just always have some things to.
But do they see you as an outsider, someone they can get money out of?
It depends.
Because that's what I experienced all over Western Africa. That because of my light skin, it's a 2-pack. We can get money.
If you're white, if you like, they call 40. You have money. It's normal. I mean, it's a truth. Even volunteers have much more money than locals. Here, the minimum salary is €50 per month. So basically, every white guys have more money than people here. I mean, than poor people here, because there is some really, really, really rich people here, but from normal people, I would say. But no, I mean, you have friends, and you can really see if the friend is here for money or not. I mean, you just try. If you're paying the restaurant twice, I mean, he's here for the money, and if he's just sharing with you, even if it is less than you can, but if he's sharing, it's not for the money. So you can still manage and get good friends.
After the lunch with Tim and a few of his colleagues under the mango tree, as they named the place, we were sitting on small wooden benches, and the bench in between us was the table. So no tables, it was just a lot of benches in a very small place, and Tim named it Under the Mango Tree. It was a big plate with rice and some kind of stewed vegetable and beef. I got the one with beef. Tim and Maurice got the one with fish, and it was big and spicy and very cheap, less than €1.50.
That was almost it for this episode. In a few seconds, I'll tell you what you can expect from the next episode. But first, let me mention that this episode is supported in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotel rooms. It searches a bunch of the biggest hotel search sites in one simple search. Try it out, would you? Hotels25.com. More to come here from Conakry. In the next episode, I'll go for a long walk around the city and notice that I'm more or less the only white person doing that. I also meet John and Sharif from Sierra Leone and Nico from South Africa. They all chose to live here in the country. You can hear why, and also a lot more about Guinea here in West Africa. And then there'll be a bonus episode already Friday. It's got nothing to do with Africa. It's an interview I had with a couple of Kiwis, two amazing YouTubers from New Zealand. It's Dane and Stacy, and they travel around the world and share everything in some amazing YouTube videos. My name's Palabo. See ya.